What's going on, guys? It's the highly anticipated, much waited on episode number 2 on how to deep fry chicken using duck fat. This is going to be a lot more to the point than the last video. I've got my smoking hot wife helping me record all this, and let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys. Now on the episode number 1, we talked about what you need to do to marinate the chicken to get it all ready. That chicken is all ready. Now we're going to create a flour, a base coat, which is going to have minimal seasoning, but a little bit of seasoning in there. Have some salt, pepper, a little bit of war pig. All right. Then we're going to have our dredge, which is going to have 2 eggs, a cup of flour. It's going to have some buttermilk, all that good stuff, and I'll show you in real time what that all looks like. And then all these spices right here are all part of the equation to make some rock solid, rock star deep fried chicken. So before we get on with the show, I got a couple other things I got to tell you real quick. All right, so first thing I gotta let y'all know is if you want to help support the channel, I've got Amazon affiliate links down below in the description. By clicking on those, you can get stuff like the cast iron pan, you can get beef tallow, you can get duck fat. You can also get something that's gonna be very important in making all this, and that is, where's it at? Where's the hey babe, where's the thermostat at? Oh, here it is, right here. Sorry about that. You need a meat thermometer out of the frame right there. So anyway, by clicking all that, it's not going to cost you anything extra, but Amazon does give us a little kickback. Now that you have all that in mind, let's move on to the next step. So to get started with all this, we're not going to be able to fry all the chicken at the exact same time. So you want to keep the chicken that's already been cooked warm. You don't want to get it too warm. You don't want to dry out your chicken. So what you're going to want to do is set your oven at 200 degrees. What I use inside to drop it on is a pizza pan. Excuse me, just because I'm too lazy to pull out a regular dish, but let's get on to the next step. All right, cool. So the first step is we're gonna get some more flour right here. All right. And with this, I really don't measure it out. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and get like a close-up right there. We're gonna need, actually, more over on this side. I got a medium-sized bowl, smaller size bowl, and a large size bowl, and I'm going to show you what that's all about in a second. But I'm going to put the flour inside of there, and then we're going to put flour inside of this one right here. And then while we got the flour out, you might as well get 1 cup of flour. This one we are going to measure. You get 1 cup of flour. All right, got that inside of there. We're gonna put, oh shoot, something's done. All right, we're gonna put 200 milliliters of buttermilk inside of here. All right, put that right there. Excuse the dogs, are all excited. I'm not really measuring that out. I'm just kind of eyeballing all of it. We're gonna get 1. We're gonna get 2 eggs. All right, we're gonna crack these eggs, pop, just like that. All right. Just like that. And we're gonna throw them away. All right, go ahead and hit the red button. All right, so we're just gonna mix this in. Nice and good. I wanna make sure that all the eggs are mixed up. And this is called our dredge. So this looks a little thick, so to kind of loosen it up just a little bit. Toss some milk inside of there, just like so. Do a little bit more, we'll be a little generous right there. That, my friends, is looking really good. All right, hit the red button. All right, we put our eggs away. All right, hit the red button. All right, guys, cool. So we got that part knocked out. There's still a lot more steps to go for that. So what we're gonna do before we start getting too ahead of ourselves is gonna add our duck fat right here. And we're gonna add this inside of our cast iron skillet. So follow me for that. Hit the red button. All right, cool. So we got our handy dandy duck fat. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour all of it inside of there. Let's see. All right, cool. So what we did just now is we threw the duck fat inside of our cast iron skillet. That's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to heat up. It's going to dissolve this to get to the temperature that we need to cook it. Now remember, you don't want to put your stove top on high. You want to put it on medium or medium low. The reason being is because you want to give the chicken the opportunity to cook and get crisp. And if it's too hot, the crust or the skin is going to get way too cooked, way too fast. And what'll happen is you'll wind up with an inside that is not at your desired temperature. So you're going to want to have medium, low heat, but most of the time medium is going to be perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that start to warm up right there. As that's warming up, we're going to go over to the second step. All right, guys, so right now we need our first base coat to be exactly where it is. We're going to get our first jar of flour. I'm going to put a little bit of seasoning, some War Pig seasoning. Again, this stuff is good stuff. I'm going to put just a little bit in there, right? Throw a little bit of salt. All right, this is for a little bit of a pre-season. Never have too much season inside of your chicken. I'm gonna throw some pepper inside of there. Just like that. All right. And we're just gonna, we're gonna stir it up like so, right? Now, excuse me, you don't gotta beat it like a redheaded stepchild because it's not too much to beat. You just wanna mix in all the seasons, make sure it's nicely mixed inside of there, see a nice little color. You don't want it all bunched up in one area, right? That's what it should look like right there. Now, let's move on to the next step. So for this one, we're gonna wanna season it generously. We're gonna have, what we have inside of there right now is the War Pig. We're gonna throw in some salt. All right, just like so. And for these, I'm not using exact measurements. I'm not sure if you can tell or not. I'm just kind of like eyeballing it. Do whatever fits your palate, you know. If you got some special spices that you want to throw in there, you know, you can experiment, right? That's one of the joys of cooking. But all this stuff inside of here is something that's tried and true that I've used with my beef tallow fried chicken that came out real good. This right here is some red pepper flakes. Last time I made the fried chicken, tasted a little bit, but I felt like I wanted to fill a little more of that pot. So I got that right there inside of there. Got a little bit of onion powder, right? So we're gonna throw this in there like that. Not gonna put too much in that. Gonna get a little bit of this garlic powder. I'm gonna sprinkle some in like so. All right, we're gonna get some paprika. All right, I'm gonna sprinkle this in like so. Not too much, not too little. You gotta have a good set of eyes on you. We're gonna throw in some ground mustard. And all this might sound like a little bit off, but trust me, folks, it makes it come out delicious and nutritious. Tastes just like chicken. Get it? Because it is chicken. All right, let's see. On to the next one. Let's see here. HEB Texas Original Brisket Rub. Not gonna put too much of this in there, but I am gonna put a little bit on there. You may think, why are you gonna put brisket rub on chicken? I guess the same reason why you're gonna use duck fat to deep fry chicken, because it's good and nobody can say we can't, right? You're gonna throw a little bit of Parmesan cheese inside of here, not too much on that, because you don't wanna burn the coating on the chicken. All right, cool, and then we're gonna whip it up like so. This one, you're gonna wanna make sure nice and coated, right? Again, you're not gonna wanna beat it like a redheaded stepchild, but you're not gonna wanna just whisk it once. You wanna whisk it a few times. One of the great things with these ingredients is they're all very, you know, they all mix together very well. So now that we got that knocked out, it should look like this. We're in the final stages of this. This right here is our chicken. Step number one, we're gonna transfer this over to this. We're gonna toss it around. No, hold on, wait a minute, messed it all up. No, that's right. We're gonna toss it around. Then we're gonna take it to the binding agent, this right here, and that's just my nickname for it. All right. Then the final seasoning batter. And there's a trick to getting extra crispy chicken. What we're gonna do is we are going to get that chicken in there. We're gonna put grip onto it. And if you feel like you're gripping too hard, you're not gripping hard enough, right? You're gonna dip it back in. You're gonna see what I mean. You're gonna kind of dangle it like this. Once we get a couple of those, we're gonna move it over to our tallow. Now, one thing that you're gonna notice is it's all liquefied. If it's starting to bubble like that right there, it's too hot. You don't want it bubbling until you put the chicken inside of there. So once the chicken in there, there is gonna be bubbles, but you don't want the oil too hot. You want everything just right. Right now we're kind of eyeballing it. So right now I just moved it from medium to medium low, but let's go ahead and turn this fan on. Well, we'll turn that on a little bit if need be, right? Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so we got this first chicken lathered up, ready to rock. We're gonna dip it inside of here in the binding agent. We don't want it too soaked, but we want to make sure you got enough on there to where it's able to comfortably hold all this in there. So now, remember earlier what I was talking about? You're gonna want to push the flour, push the seasoning, push it all in there. You should see these, there you go, just like that. All right, that one right there is good. And your hands are gonna get kind of messy, so, but what's cooking without messy hands, right? These are kind of thin. These are gonna cook pretty quick. All right, guys, so now for the moment of truth. We're gonna start placing our chicken tendies inside of the duck fat. Now, one important safety tip to keep in mind, make sure you place it away from you when you put it inside of there. So, got a little bit of bubbles, not too much. I was expecting a lot more. We're gonna cook this for a few minutes on each side. Before we transfer it into the oven, we're gonna wanna make sure that it's cooked to a safe temperature. So whenever you're cooking chicken tenders, a safe temperature is gonna be 165. That's where that meat thermometer is gonna come in real handy. One thing you do not wanna do is eat undercooked chicken. All right, cool. And one last thing I forgot to mention is you're gonna need some metal tongs. All right, guys, time to flip the chicken. And you might have to flip it a few times. Actually, we're gonna let that sit in there and cook a little bit. I'm gonna turn this heat up just a little bit. Remember, you're gonna want to let it cook on one side for a few minutes, flip it over to the other side for a few minutes. You're gonna put in your thermometer, this right here. And as long as it's at 165 at least, then you are ready to rock and roll and you're cooking with grease. Nope, all puns intended. So, through the magic of movie making, my smoking hot wife made us some mashed potatoes made from actual mashed potatoes, or actual potatoes, not like the instant stuff, you know, only the best, right? And then, check this out. Now I want y'all to know that all this fried chicken right there, that's a little bit over, and some of it I overcooked a little bit, but all in all, it's amazing stuff. I like the, I like the duck fat. I prefer the beef tallow a little bit better, but one of the big things that made a huge difference on the second part of the batch that I was making it was I added a little more seasoning. So the seasoning you saw me add in earlier, add a little bit more. That's if you want some extra kick to the fried chicken. If you want to double fry the chicken, like if you want it double fried, then once you put it in the oven like this, all you gotta do is let it dry for about 10-15 minutes, take it back out of the oven, throw it back in the fryer. One side, let it sit there for like, you know, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, flip it over to the other side, same thing. I wound up punching the heat back up to medium heat, but now for the moment of truth. All right, we got us one of the fried chicken pieces here. Got a little bit of this Chick-fil-A sauce. I don't know if they sell it on Amazon or not, but if they do, I'll drop a link to this. You know, let's see, it's the Lord's sauce, so it doesn't count. Calories don't count. No, I'm just playing. All right, let's see. Let's try this out. Oh my goodness. Man, I can't believe that. Y'all gotta try this. Duck fat, it's amazing. Beef tallow is my personal favorite. Both of these are 10 times better and healthier for you than cooking with the traditional oils. It's gonna give it a unique, different type of texture and flavor and taste. And man, I'll see y'all in the next video, but y'all drop a comment if y'all plan on making this or if you have made it and what you think. But I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna knock this chicken out.